It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that tries to take the mystery out of your financial life. If you've got a question, all you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com, and click the Contact Us button. If you'd like to join us live, check the box. Producer Mark will do everything else because he's the best there is. Right now, let's start with Charlie from Washington State. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys today?
Doing great. What can we do for you?
Well, I had some questions that I sent to you, and the main thing is we were in the process of almost going to get our permit to build a house on a dream property that we had bought 11 years ago, when a better deal up the beach came on the market, which was a steal. So we decided instead of building, we'd buy this place. We have sold the other property. And now we're in the process of selling our house in the Puget Sound Basin, and we're out here on the coast now with the Pacific Ocean in our backyard.
Wow, that sounds amazing. How is the guest accommodation for me and Mark?
We have a spare room.
All right,
and we have an RV hookup.
Calm down with the RV, but okay. So what is where are you right now real estate wise? What did you buy the new home for? What was the amount?
So we purchased the place for $750,000. Okay. We were able to put down almost $200,000 on it. We took that out of our building contingency fund. Mm-hmm. And the assessed value at the county is just at $1 million.
And you're selling your city home, basically, right?
Correct. And it's mortgage free.
Okay. And how much will the proceeds from the sale be?
Conservatively, $300,000. If I really get lucky, maybe a little bit more.
Okay. And so you put down $200,000. You have a $550,000 mortgage right now?
Yeah, a little bit more than that because of closing costs and everything. I have $560,000.
Okay. And what's the interest rate on that mortgage?
We got it at 6.5.
Okay. And is that a 30-year fixed? Is there some sort of adjustable?
No, it's 30-year fixed.
Okay. And when do you think you'll sell that old home?
Hopefully within, the market right now is pretty good. So hopefully within the next month.
Okay. And so what's your intention with the $300,000? Is it going to be to slap it down on the $550,000 to reduce the mortgage, or do you have other plans for it?
Well, that, and then since we sold the other lot that we were going to build on down here and realized a $208,000 gain on that, we're looking at putting almost $500,000 plus against our current mortgage. Okay. And my question was, since I'm 71, I have a IRA that I was thinking of taking the money out of that, pay the taxes on it, of course, but then be mortgage free.
Interesting. Okay. Charlie, you're married?
Yes.
How old's your spouse?
65.
Okay. And you're both retired?
Yes, she has been for 2 months.
Oh, how's that first 2 months going? She's sick of you yet?
Oh, no, she's pumping her fist and smiling.
Nice. That's great. That's awesome. What is a source of income for you guys? Your Social Security or pensions? What do you got going?
So I have a pension and Social Security. My pension is $2,400 a month after taxes, and my Social Security right now is $1,990 a month after taxes and Medicare. The wife has a state pension that's paying $2,343 a month after taxes. Mm-hmm. And then she will be eligible. It's a state pension, and she has a $457 too. I guess I'm getting ahead of you. So
no, it's okay. So just so I am clear, when you are looking at that, so you've got your pension of $2,400, and then you've got Social Security of $1,990, and then you've got her state pension. I'm just rounding $2,300, so that's a $6,700 or so.
Yes.
How is that for you guys, income wise? I mean, I know you're carrying a lot of real estate, and that will get cleaned up. But let's pretend you've sold the old home, and let's pretend you're mortgage free for a second. How would $6,700 a month of income be for you guys?
With all said and done, being mortgage free and everything, my expenses monthly would run probably about $5,000, leaving us about $1,700. mad
Oh,
money.
that's great. Okay, great. So now you're going to tell me a little bit about the savings. So you have other money that you've put aside. So let's talk about what you have done for each of you. Let's start with money that has not yet been taxed. So any deferred comp, whether that's 457 or IRA, what's the amounts that you have then in that kind of money, the traditional environment, we'll call it.
Okay, so the wife has 210,000 plus or minus in a 457.
Yep.
I have 110,000, of course, plus or minus in a conventional IRA.
Yep.
And then she has, from a long time ago, about 35,000 in a conventional IRA.
So that's all the before tax money. And that's what you're sort of thinking like, hey, maybe I should pull some of the money out of these accounts and pay the tax that's due and get rid of the mortgage so that you would have the sale of the old home, the proceeds from the lot, that 500, and then maybe pull out, let's say $100,000 or $80,000 from your traditional accounts, pay the tax that's due, but be mortgage free. Is that sort of the game plan?
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay. Tell me about any other money that you guys have set aside. Roth, brokerage, bank account. What else do you have?
So I have a small brokerage that I've used for things, and it's got $6,000 in it currently. Most of the thing is we have no debt. And so I've always been one that wants to buy stuff, either cash or get it paid off. I don't like giving money. I don't like paying interest. I feel that's a waste of my money.
Okay. I like getting interest, though. That's one of my favorites.
Well, yes. So the other thing is we do have a couple collectible, or I shouldn't say, we have a couple classic cars, which, of course, there again, if we sold both of them, we may realize $50,000 from the sale of both of them.
Should we?
No.
You don't want to.
Well,
do that,
one I am considering selling because I don't know if I'm going to have the time to mess with it. But
all right, but do we really? Okay, but you don't want to have to make that decision. You don't want to say, "Oh, that's the only way I can pay down my mortgage." So
exactly.
Okay, so we know that you're going to have to pay some tax on the money that comes out. Is this a bad tax year for you just because of all these real estate transactions?
Well, Washington has pretty steep excise taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, and that's why I'm really trying. I itemized last year. I'm trying to itemize this year. That's the first time we've been able to itemize in a long time.
Yeah, but and you said your wife just retired, so she has had some income for this year, right?
Yeah, she worked the first quarter of the year, and so there again, she realized $24,000 coming in.
If I add everything up, even if we had you pull $100,000 from and I would do it from your account, right? Because let's just say we got rid of your, maybe just clean it up. So like you got rid of $110,000 of your IRA account. Okay. You sell it. You said, send me the money. Done. If you were to do that and you add that to your taxable income, you're still in the 24% tax bracket. You're not going above 24%.
Okay.
And that's an extra 2% for you for the ability to just get rid of your mortgage. We'll get back to Charlie in just a minute. If you've got a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that is trying to help you make better, sometimes less bad financial decisions. Let's get back to Charlie from Washington State. You've got your pension, Social Security, her $24,000 from the first quarter, then $2,300 a month. You're going to have taxable income. If you want to really try to stay within the 22% bracket, work with your accountant, say, where do we stand? How does this look? And then what you can do is you can make a decision to pay down the rest of the mortgage this year, or alternatively, do all the transactions, get everything done. And at the end of the year, you see where you stand. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to go into the 24% bracket, you can wait and just do it in January and then be done with the mortgage as of January.
Well, and when I sent you the note, I've already made payments through the end of this year, monthly payments. So I don't even have a payment due until the first of the year next year, as far as my mortgage is concerned.
So maybe you wait and you just see what your tax situation looks like, which is not the worst thing in the world, right? I mean, that might be the way to do it. I don't want you to feel like you are in a situation where, you have to do one thing or another. I know you hate debt. We're only talking about waiting for 6 or 7 months. Then in January, you can see after all of the real estate transactions are done. And if you're working with a tax preparer to say, okay, I am going to take some money out of my IRA accounts. You don't have to worry about your wife's right now. And then take out as much as you would need, account for that with your account. Say, hey, I'm going to take $80,000 out of my retirement account, and then that's going to be taxable income. Just make sure they know that. And then you pay down the rest of the mortgage and you're done. And then you are living, you'll have that $6,700 a month of income. The 3 sources of income, the pension, the Social Security, and your wife's state pension, does your pension and her pension have a cost of living adjustment?
So mine's fixed, hers does.
But then she'll also claim Social Security eventually, right?
Correct.
At 67 or 70, what do you think?
Well, we've done the paperwork right now, and we need to defer hers because she made over the maximum you can make for the year without the penalty.
Yeah, you can wait till 67 for her. You'll be fine.
Okay.
I would wait till her full retirement age.
Okay.
And then you're fine. You guys are in great shape. I have no problem with this. To me, this is it's an interesting case because, when you come on the air and you're talking about, the paying down the mortgage, normally I'm like, oh, don't pay down your mortgage. But, we're in a different mortgage environment now, right? And when you have a 6.5% mortgage, there's this idea that for some people might be, which is, well, let me take my old house proceeds and the money from the lot. Let's take that $500,000 and just invest it. And we'll make more money than 6.5% the cost of the mortgage, which may be true. But then I hear, as I'm talking to you, Charlie, what I hear is I hate debt. And I'm not sure that you would feel comfortable with that. So as you come on the air and you start saying like, I hate debt, it's hard for me to try to sell you on the idea, well, keep money, have liquidity. I think you're going to have plenty of money. So would you feel better if you had access to the money, or would you feel better debt-free?
Personally, I like being debt-free. Yeah. I do have a fiduciary I've worked with. And in fact, I just spoke to him last week, looking at CDs, for instance, for some of the money I have sitting around. When you look at what CDs are paying, what I'm paying on interest, it brings my interest rate down, I guess if I'm looking at this correctly, about to 2% instead of 6.5%. But still, I love listening to you. And so I want to get some other insight. The other thing, though, on the wife's 457, converting at least part of that into a Roth IRA so that when I'm gone, she isn't paying any taxes or anything on that money.
So what? Is your pension, does it have a survivor benefit for her?
No, neither of us. We decided between the two of us that she gets her full pension, no survivor, and I get my full pension, no survivor.
What's her full retirement age Social Security amount?
The last time I looked, it was about $1,000, $1,500 or something like that.
So she would have $3,800. So we'd lose your money, but she'll have her Social Security plus her state pension. And, so she'll have lower amount of income. I don't know. Her expenses might be about the same, may not be much less than, I don't know. It's weird when you get older. It's not like your expenses will go in half. You know what I mean? You still have the house. And how much money do you have? You said you have brokerage. You have money in savings right now, other money?
So we tried to maintain anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000, both in checking and in savings. Right now it's down around $30,000 because we've been doing some improvements to the property we bought. So we've been spending money. For instance, I had to buy a riding lawnmower. I got an acre and a half of lawn to mow.
God bless you, baby. My God. I mean, look, it's an interesting question because if either of you predeceases the other, your income goes down pretty, not huge, but it's like it's a significant amount. Instead of saving that $1,700 a month, you'll be dipping into some of your savings. The thing is that the house that you have now, is this your forever house? Or is this a house like, yeah, we're going to keep this for 10 or 15 years and but we can't age here. Like, could you be in this house and age?
Yes, it's a 2,500 foot Rambler, and the Pacific Ocean's 900 feet out my back door with a nice trail to it.
Okay. All right. So listen, I think you're probably okay. I think that it would be good to kind of check back in with us at the end of the year to see whether or not we really want to make any sort of withdrawal from the accounts or not. Because the only thing I'm worried about is just your cash flow and having access to money. But I think that if you were to have all of this money coming in and all of that extra money, even if it's like $1,000 or $1,500 a month, if you just rebuilt your savings and use that money for as long as you're both alive to take whatever money is extra and to build it up, you really want to have a buffer against the future. You should be fine. But if one of you were to die sooner than I would expect, then I think we would rather have access to your money. So I'm not sure I want to use your IRA money or her IRA or her 457 money. I don't know if I'd want to use that to pay down the house when I may want to have access to that money. So that's really the issue. It's just like, where is the money best deployed and how you're going to manage going forward.
So in other words, you're saying I'm not too far off the mark on what I've been trying to do.
No, you're not. But, again, the problem is that I'm sure that your advisor would say to you, like, well, if I have that $500,000, we have access to the money. And if you use that $500,000 from the old house proceeds and the lot, and we pay down the mortgage, your expenses go down, but then we don't have access to the money. And hey, what happens if you need access to the money? That's the issue, right? This is a liquidity issue more than anything else. I mean, look, someone died sooner than we expect, and the other one is left with a $1 million house, which they may or may not want to stay in without the other. I just think that if that happened early in the cycle, if you or your wife, I'm going to be very blunt with you. If you guys, like one of you dies within the next 5 years, I think the survivor has a real question as to whether or not to keep the house. Because I think that then if you're alone in that house, and the cost of maintaining that and having it and on a reduced income, where you would stand. So I think you just have to both be flexible enough in like just your mindset to say, hey, this is great. We're okay right now if we pay this mortgage down. But if something bad happened in the future to one of us, maybe we would have to do something different. We have to sell the cars. We have to do this. But, I want you to beef up your savings in the period of time where more income is coming in than the expenses. Okay?
Okay.
That's really the issue. If you've got a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's Jill on Money. Let's talk to Lillian from Berkeley, California. Hello, Lillian. How are you?
Hi. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, excellent. What's going on? How can we help you out today?
So I've just started listening to your podcast, which might be a little strange because I'm 24 and retirement is not necessarily upcoming for me.
Dude, we do everything. It's not just retirement. Just know that we do it all, and we love our young listeners. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Yay.
Okay.
Glad to hear
all
it.
Right. Good.
But retirement is upcoming for my mom. She is a little bit later to the saving for retirement game. I think she started about 5 years ago. And just trying to get into personal finance, like when it seems like everyone's already ahead of you and you're trying to retire in the next 10 years, has been kind of overwhelming for her. So I've been trying to help out a little bit, but I also don't know that much. So I'd love to just chat with you and see, is it possible for her to retire in the next few years? What kinds of steps should we be taking?
Okay, that makes sense. And so let me just ask a little bit about you. So you're 24. Are you living home or are you living on your own right now?
I'm living on my own. I'm in grad school at Berkeley.
Oh, I hope you're studying something that's going to make you a lot of money. I hope. Maybe.
I hope
some
so
money?
too.
Let's talk about mom for a moment. So are you self-sufficient right now?
I am, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
great. Okay, so how old is your mom?
She's 65. She's about to be 65.
And are you the only child or are there
I
others?
am, yes. It's just us, me and her.
Okay. Oh, love that. So you're a team, which is great. What is she doing right now for income? She's working right now?
She's working, yeah.
How much does she earn?
$140K a year.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, she just got a new job that she loves.
Fantastic. So she started 5 years ago. She's 65 now, and
Yes.
she wants to work for how much longer?
So if it were up to her, I think she'd be done tomorrow, but I think she's decided that she's probably going to work until she's 70.
Okay.
But she loves it.
I know, that's so good. I mean, why stop if you're loving it? And she got a late start, so she probably got a lot of energy. She's not like us, beaten down and exhausted. How much has she saved? This is really the critical question.
Yeah,
You said
this
she
is
got a
the
late
question.
start. So does she have a 401k or a 403b? What does she have?
She does. She has a 401k with about $200,000 in it.
Wow. Oh, my God. Okay. In 5 years, that's pretty good.
No, it's
And,
amazing. Yeah.
What else does she have? Does she have money in the bank?
She has a brokerage account that she just started
Okay.
with about $200,000 in it.
How could just started? How did she get all this money? This is incredible.
Well, so for the past 5 years, she was living with my aunt and saving a lot of money. Basically, all of her money she was just putting right into the bank.
Okay. And does she rent now or does she own her own home?
She owns her own home.
How much is the house worth?
So the house is worth, I guess that's a good question.
Thank
Because
you.
she lives in San Diego and property values have really exploded since she bought.
Okay.
But the mortgage has $180,000 left on it.
Okay. Do you know the interest rate on the mortgage?
Yeah, 3.7.
Okay. Do you remember when? I can almost guess what the value is if you tell me when she bought it and for how much.
Yeah, she bought it in, I think, 2010 for about $450.
Oh, my God. I mean, I'm going to
Yeah.
guess it's probably worth 8 is my
Yeah,
guess.
I think houses in the neighborhood that are similar have been going from 8 to $1 million.
Okay. So, but she likes it. She wants to stay there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're okay with her staying there? Like she has a community and she's alone, but she's okay, right?
Absolutely. She's got, my family's there. Like,
Okay.
She's good.
Okay. So the 200 grand in a 401k, 200 grand in brokerage, the house, does she have like a bank account that she has money in?
Yeah, she has about $50,000 just in cash.
Is that it for the assets? Is there anything weird
That's
hanging around? Okay. And what about the amount of money she spends? Do you know what it costs her to live her life?
Yes. So this is a little, because her main fixed expense is the mortgage.
Yes.
And basically, I talked to her a little about her monthly budget, and it seems like her take home is about $7,000 a month.
Okay.
Her budget is anywhere from 4 to 6, and then the rest of it the rest of it she's been putting on the house.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll tell her no.
No. Okay. Wait a second. So definitely do not pay down that mortgage. We need
Okay.
her money. Okay. And so just to explain Lillian's mom, if you're going to listen to this, the reason not to pay down the mortgage is we want to try to have you actually accumulate money that you can use. Because if we pay off that 3.7% mortgage, we can't exactly take your living room into the grocery store in 20 years, right? So we don't want to pay down that cheap fixed mortgage. Just let it be, continue to pay. So if her take home is $7,000 and she's got what do you think the a $2,000 variance? What do you think that's about? Do you think that that's like because that's only because she's at a certain point in your life you would kind of know what your expenses are. Is that because she travels a lot? Like what else is going on?
So this is, I think, that one of the bigger things is my grandmother is living with her. My grandmother's 95, and that is a lot of expense. I mean, she just came out of the hospital. She okay.
Okay, so your grandma lives with her, and your mom is primarily responsible for that.
Yes.
There's a lot of like female powerful energy here. I'm liking it. It's good. And I presume grandma has Social Security, but not much more than that, right?
Yes, we recently got her on Medicare, or she's been on Medicare, but now we got her on Medicaid. So a lot of her health insurance has just become covered.
Oh, thank goodness. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So your mom has health insurance through her work, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so when she turns 65, she still has to say, hey, I'm signing up for Medicare. I'm not taking my benefits yet. That's important.
Okay.
The next part of this is how much is she entitled to in Social Security when she turns 70?
Yes. So I have the breakdown right here. It seems like at 70, she'll get $3,900 a month.
Perfect. That's great. That's a good chunk of money, right?
Yeah.
And the money that's in the 401k, I presume that is a traditional 401k, meaning she's earning 140
yes.
in the, okay, so that's all traditional. The brokerage account, the bank. Okay. Feeling pretty good about this. I mean,
oh, that's great.
Is she contributing to the 401k actively? Do you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know how much she's putting in?
That's a good question. I don't have the info in front of me, but she assures me that she maxes out the employer match.
Okay, at least the employer match. Okay, that's good. You're listening to Jill on Money.
If you've missed any part of the show or want to check out a past show, go to JillOnMoney.com for more great personal finance content.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are trying to help you navigate your financial journey. If you've got a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's get back to Lillian from Berkeley. Mark, how do you think Lillian's mom is doing? I mean, especially because I think that her expenses are, let's just presume her expenses are $5,000 a month. You know, your grandmother may have reduced the actual need, but let's just say it's $5,000 a month, generally speaking. So at $5,000 a month, Mark, how do you think Lillian's mom is looking at age 70 in 5 years, knowing that she'll have $5,000 a month of need expenses?
Yeah, in 5 years at 70, there's no issue. She's got $400,000. That's going to grow. She's contributing whatever she's contributing to it. So that's going to keep growing for 5 years. Social Security is going to kick in. There's really no problem.
I don't think that there should be a big problem. But what I want to just remind you, Lillian, and your mother, is that if she enjoys what she does, the longer she works, the better this all looks. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so she can claim her Social Security benefit at age 70 and keep working. So she can get that money. She might even if she said, I love my job, maybe she could talk to her boss. I could do it part-time. I mean, if they love her and she loves it, then making that money is going to build up her confidence. So I think that she's done a great job. I mean, she's really done a fantastic job of cranking it up. It just shows you, right, that you can do a lot if you are motivated to do so. Now, are you worried about it, Lillian? Are you feeling okay?
It's so funny. I was preparing for this episode and I was surprised by how high these numbers were because I think I was a little stuck in 5 years ago when she had $30,000 in the bank and that was it.
Unbelievable, right?
Right. It's amazing. I'm incredibly proud of her.
Mark's clapping.
Yeah. So I think I feel a lot better now.
Okay.
But I still like when I think about my life going forward and like wanting to, do you feel like she would be like independent in retirement? Like, would she need contributions from me in any way?
No, I don't think she's going to need your help. But is she freaked out about that? Is that like one of the, in other words, I have to try to figure out, like, is there something going on underneath here that's like, oh my God, my mother would never want to rely on me because my grandmother relied on her. And that would be like, I don't want to repeat that cycle. Is that kind of where we are in the life cycle of the Lillian female powerful women family?
I mean, I think that it's not her favorite idea that she would have to rely on me. But I think, over the years, because, for a long time, we were not in this situation. And so I feel like she had kind of accepted it. But I think she's going to be thrilled.
I think she should be thrilled. And I think you should be proud of her and she should be proud of herself.
Yeah.
So if you want to really kind of, if you want to like lower the temperature a little bit, one way to do that is to say to her, don't rush to pay off the mortgage, right? You can use that money because again, one of the reasons I like having the money available in a brokerage or the 401k is that she will need to pull the money out of these accounts to help supplement her Social Security.
Yeah,
she's going to need it.
Instead of putting any extra money towards the mortgage, I would increase the contributions at work.
Yeah, it might be easier to do that. Either do the workplace 401k or throw the money in the brokerage. Saves like whatever let's just say she's like, well, every couple of months I put $1,000 down on the mortgage. Don't do that. Take the money and say, I'll put an extra $500 a month in my 401k or my brokerage account. Like use it that way. And, not to be crass, but obviously your mom is not going to be paying for your grandmother's expenses forever.
No,
absolutely. She's going to be in a great place, living in a place she likes. Again, if she wants to feel that sense of independence, the best way to feel that is to keep working. If you told me she hated her job, that would be one thing. Like, oh my God, I hate this so much. It's the worst thing ever. Then we'd figure it out. But again, even if she can just work part-time in in those 70, like basically like 70 to 73, just have a little cash flow come in. It'd be really nice for her to be able to beef up her savings in that way. But otherwise, she's in very good shape, and you guys have done a great job.
That's
at that,
so
Mark.
Wonderful.
It's amazing. It's amazing what she's done in just a handful of years. Really.
It's incredible. Lillian, what about for you? 24 years old. Are you going to do you have any college debt?
I have a little bit of college debt, but right now the interest is deferred because I'm in grad school. So I plan to just knock that out once I'm done.
Yes, baby. I want you to knock that out. Is there anything else that we can help you out with today?
I have one small question. My mom's 401k and brokerage accounts are very aggressively invested because of how...
Tell her to calm down on that. Tell her to pull that.
I've been thinking about that also.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, Mark, what do you think is the most aggressive Lillian's mom should be in terms of aggressive, moderately aggressive, growth, balanced? I mean, she is going to work for 5 more years. I'm sort of thinking 70-30 would be about the most risk. I was even thinking like 60-40.
Yeah, 60-40. Just given her age and the timeline.
You see, the thing, Lillian, is that we know that if she decides not to work, we will need to pull money out of these accounts.
Yeah.
Right? We know we're going to have to do that. So it does argue to be a little bit less aggressive. And she's gone through this tumultuous period. And as we speak to you, things have bounced back from the lows in a pretty decent way. Now might be a good time to do that. Okay?
Okay.
Good?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
It's the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are answering your financial questions. If you've got one, just go to jillonmoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Write us that note. Give us a lot of detail if you're not planning to join us on the show. But if you'd like to come on the program, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, don't forget to check out all the great content that lives there, including our subscription service called Jill on Money Live. For $45, you'll have access to quarterly live webinars, the entire back catalog of those webinars, and bonus audio and video content. Jill on Money Live, $45 for the next 12 months. Check it out. Okay, now, before we finish out the hour, let's get to an email. This is from Chris, who writes, I'm 56 years old, and I'm looking for a way to contribute more to my Roth IRA. I'm a bartender for a small family restaurant, and I don't have access to a 401k. Now, if I were to start a 529 plan for myself, because I am considering going back to school and changing my career, but then I decide not to go back to school after contributing to a 529, are there any rules preventing me from converting that 529 money to a Roth IRA? Chris, this is an interesting idea. You can use money in a 529 plan for yourself. So that's number one. And of course, if you end up having children, you could use it for them as well. So there's no limit as to what you can put into that 529 plan, except limited by the plan itself and by gifting rules. That said, a 529 plan has to be open for 15 years in order for you to be able to move that money into a Roth IRA for the beneficiary, in this case, you. The other limit is the amount of money that can be transferred from a 529 to a Roth, and that's $35,000, which can't be done in a lump sum. You still are subject to the rules of whatever the Roth limits are at the time. So, for example, if it were this year, you could put $7,000 into a Roth IRA from a 529 plan. If this sounds too complicated, then of course you can just open a brokerage account and supplement your Roth IRA with that. I hope that helps. Go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and let us know if you want to come on the air live with us by checking the box. Mark will do everything else. You're listening to the Jill on Money Show. We'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are answering your financial questions. If you've got one, just go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Let's talk to James from North Carolina. Hi, James. How are you?
Hey, good to be on the show, guys. Thanks so much.
Oh, excellent. What's going on? How can we help you out?
I have a pretty good feel about how my finances are, but I'm just kind of wondering, should I retire sooner versus later?
Yes. Okay, moving on. No, I'm just kidding. What are you? Do you hate your job? Do you like your job? What's going on for you?
The job is good, but I'm just wondering, like, I'm 57, about to turn 58, and the number of years where I'm going to be able to be active are dwindling, and I'm just wondering,
yes.
Do I have enough there to walk away? I know I do. I think I do, but there's some other questions I'm not really clear on.
You know what's funny about that? I've also been thinking about this. I'll tell you why. I was in London recently, and I was with some friends, and they told me about this wild trip that they took. It's basically like you fly up to like the northern part of Sweden, and you get on the back of a dog sled, and like you basically mush your husky, and you go from hut to hut. And you see like northern lights and this amazing thing and all this stuff. And I thought that is a trip that you really, you can't be waiting around for. You have to be in good shape to do it, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought the exact same thing. Like, you're going to wait around to do things like that? Or are you going to go do it right now? And then the question is, if you want to do it right now, do you want to do it in the middle of your work life? So, James, you're about to be 58. Tell us what else is going on in your financial life. So are you married, partnered? What do you got going on?
Yeah, married, 2 kids. One is about to graduate high school and go to college, and the other one's 2 years behind.
Does your spouse work?
Part-time.
Okay. How much do you guys make together?
Say 150.
For college for the kids, is that taken care of? Have you set money aside? What's happening there?
Yeah, I think we're pretty close. We've got about 165,000 set aside right now.
For the two of them?
Correct.
And are they going to go to public school or private?
So far, one's going to public.
Yes. So I love that. I love that high school senior of yours. Make sure the sophomore does the same.
Yeah, we figured we got to get the first one to do it. So
good. You first, right?
Yes.
So, James, how have you guys managed to save for retirement? Do you have a 401k plan, or do you have a pension? What's going on for you?
Yeah, no pension. I have a 401k. I've got IRAs, mutual funds, and I have a couple other small accounts as well, like an HSA and a little bit of stock.
Okay. The 401k, is it all pre-tax, traditional?
The current employer 401k is mostly Roth.
How much is in there?
140.
And so you have IRAs, meaning rollovers from old jobs and stuff, and that's the traditional?
Correct.
Okay. And how much is in that pot of money?
So the way I would break it down to, starting with the smallest that I have, I have about 30,000 just in stock. Okay. I mentioned the 529. I have a small account with Vanguard that's 55,000. 30,000 of that is in an IRA, and then 25,000 of that is an old 401k from a previous employer. So then my current 401k is at Fidelity, and that's a value of 140, and I have an HSA of 90 and an IRA of 25.
But when you said you had an old retirement account, right?
So I also have an account with Schwab, some other retirement accounts, ETFs and mutual funds. And this is where the majority of the money is, at $3.65 million.
And that's mostly has not been taxed? I'm just trying to figure out, what are we looking at for your required?
Yeah, most of that has not been taxed. Yeah, there's a very small amount of that is in Roth money.
Okay. So you've got a good income right now, and you've got all this money socked aside. Do you also have money in the bank, kind of like boring money?
Yes.
How much?
Over 300.
Oh, that's some money. There you go.
But that's,
how about your house?
That's part of the Schwab account.
Okay.
There's mutual money market. I'm sorry. The house is paid for.
Worth?
How much? 650.
You want to stay there?
Yes.
I know you have these two kids, so you still have expenses.
Correct.
Just where you are today, what is your expense on a monthly basis about?
I would say about $8,000 to $9,000 a month.
I'm not going to presume that actually goes down when the kids get a little bit older, because you'll have your money set aside. It'll be something, and maybe, I don't know. Let's keep that as like your goal. $8,000 to $9,000 a month of income is what you would like to live on eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you were given a magic wand, what is it that you really would like to happen? You want to say, I'm done this year. At the end of this year, I want to be done. Is that what your hope is?
I'm leaning towards that, or sometime next year. Correct.
Okay. So we want to say, do you have enough money this minute to be able to finance your future retirement, get these kids through school, all those fun things? So a couple more questions, James. So when you look at a Social Security benefit in the future, so let's, pretend it's 10 years from now, it's your full retirement age. What would you be entitled to for your Social Security? Do you know?
I do.
What is that?
67, I'll get $4,000 a month, and at 70, I'll get $5,000.
Okay. And is your wife going to claim on half of your record?
She is.
Or does she have her own? Okay.
She would claim half of mine, and she is 10 years younger than me.
Oh, all right. Look at you. Nicely done. Okay. So she can't claim for a while. So, okay. So it seems like we have a couple of phases to think about, right? So let's say at the end of this year, you're 58, and then a year and a half later, then you start, you're 59 and a half, right? Because you said you're about to be 58. So at the end of 2026, you'll be 59 and a half, right?
Correct.
Is that right? Okay. So what we have to do is if you give your notice, you're done at the end of this year, then you have to float yourself for a full year, which means of that $300,000 that's money market, you're spending some of that down, right? Just going to spend it. You're going to float your lifestyle. That's already been taxed money. So let's say that you spend half of it. So, because I don't know, you have kids and stuff happens. So $9,000 a month adds up pretty quickly. And we are left at the end of 2026 with, instead of $300,000 in safe stuff, you got about 150, maybe it's 160. That's what's left. Now at age 59 and a half, we do have this 3.6-ish. Maybe it's a little bit less, but let's just say it's 3 and change of money that hasn't been taxed yet, right? That's the money that I think you would want to start living on between your age 59 and a half and your age 67 or 70. Does that make sense? Because one of the reasons I want to start to get it out over time, because then if we start to spend that down, then what you're not going to be forced with is this massive required minimum distribution at the time you're 75. So we're going to use that money. You're going to live on that money. You're going to pay the tax that's due on that money. And you're going to cry and say, oh, isn't it unfair? Yes, yes, yes. It's all terrible. But you have a bunch of money and you can do that. We'll get back to James in just a minute. If you've got a financial question, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. You're listening to The Jill on Money Show.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. This is the Jill on Money Show, and we are trying to help you navigate your financial journey. And the emphasis of that sentence is your. You are the focus of this show. Meaning, if anything is going on in your life that remotely touches a dollar in any way, get in touch with us. Don't carry the load yourself. That is why we are here. Mark and I are both certified financial planners. We don't do it for a living full time. We do this for a living. We're in media, but we love to help you try to understand the choices that are in front of you. So if something's going on, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and let us know if you want to come on the air live with us by checking the box. Mark will do everything else. While you're on the website, check out our 2 podcasts. We've got Jill on Money, which airs Monday through Friday, and then we've got the Money Watch podcast, which kind of dives deeper into some of the core issues that we think are important to build your financial foundation. Money Watch is released on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays. You can find links to our podcasts on our website or just go wherever you find podcasts. Right now, let's get back to James from North Carolina. So, Mark, as you are busy doing some calculations in between eating some nuts, do you think that a game plan for James and his wife, where we're pulling down the traditional IRA assets, we're withdrawing money over the course of, from 59 and a half to age, let's call it 70 even, will that be okay, sufficient, so that at age 70, they can use whatever the unused balance is of that account, plus the other assets they have, and be able to make it to grab that $8,000 to $9,000 a month? Is that possible, Mark Tilliercio? That is the question.
I think it'll probably work. It's close. It might be a little bit too close for me. I'm also wondering, does the 8 or 9 account for healthcare?
Yeah, that's a good question, because we have to buy healthcare on the exchange for you. Oh,
no,
okay. So we need to really do 10 or 11. You know what I think? I think that your original idea of kind of work, I think that you should work probably not till the end of 26. I'm going to say that I think you need a little bit of wiggle room here. So I think what you need to do is try to work until, you're about to be 58. Maybe when you put 2 more years in, right? I think if you put 2 more years in and you sock some money away, Mark, do you think that James should be continuing to put money into retirement, or should we build up the non-retirement assets that he's going to need, from age 60 to 70?
I mean, I don't don't know. He's got $300,000 in cash. So, I mean,
You're okay spending some of that.
Yeah, I am. And if he does decide to work another year or two, I think I'd probably rather get the Roth money.
Yeah. So maybe we have you continue. If you're going to do 2 years, let's say you do 2 years, so that really, you're about to be 58. At the moment, you're turning 60. Now the kids are you got little one is actually heading to college. You have a better sense of what the dollar amount's going to be. And we have, one kid halfway through college. I think that makes more sense. I do agree with Mark in that I think it's possible. I think that if you really wanted to retire right now, that the way it could work is if you were to actually do something part-time. Do you have that ability in your current situation to maybe go to 3 days a week for some group of years, or is that not possible?
That's not possible. I mean, I would definitely do something part-time, but it wouldn't be enough to qualify for medical benefits.
Okay. Then I think you should probably, only because of the cost of of going onto the marketplace and the Affordable Care Act, I think that it's probably, I think your notion of, hey, if you're going to retire in 2 years, the numbers look better. They just will. And then what you'll have to do is go onto the Affordable Care Act. You're going to go onto the exchange and you're going to have to buy yourself some health care unless you or your wife is in a position to go get a job that will offer you health benefits for some, maybe even if it were just like they kick in a certain amount based on how much time you give. But that, I think, would really relieve you. I think there's too much unknown right now. I think it is possible. I just don't I'm not feeling like you are doing this no problem. I feel like the two issues of the kids and not knowing where the little one is going to school and also not having health care kind of puts a little bit of pressure. You're in great shape. You really are. And if you were sort of normal kind of dude who's like, I'm going to work till I'm 65, you'd be in amazing shape. But I get the view that it would be nice to retire while you're still young and being able to do a lot of stuff. Listen, you got a kid at home now, so how much stuff are you really going to do? Exactly.
Yeah, that's right? That's kind of where I'm thinking. Like, I can't go anywhere.
I'm like, exactly. So I'm like, okay, work till the sophomore is done. Now it's 2 years from now. The sophomore is graduating. You know what college looks like. And now I think you're giving your notice and saying it's May of 2027, and I'm giving you my notice. I'm done at the end of 27. Done. And I think that's, unless something wildly fabulous happens to you between now and then, like you just hit it big. There's some big chunk of money that comes to you out of the blue. Not saying investment returns, just like some sort of windfall that occurs. Unless that happens, I think the game plan should be when little one retires, when little one graduates, then we are ready to rock and roll. And I think that's right. And I think I do agree. At first I was thinking, like, if you were going to actually call it quits this year, I may not use the Roth. But, if you're going to make it a couple of years, then why not get more money into the Roth? I know it seems weird because it's like, I got $4 million. How can that not be enough? It's not actually the dollar amount as much as it is sort of the uncertainty of a couple of big issues. I think if we knew that the answer to those things, that maybe it might be closer. Maybe it will be. I don't want to I hope you're not. Does this bum you out?
No, I kind of was thinking similar, but it does, I was hoping you'd say, hey, you are great. You should have retired 2 years ago. But
yeah, James, do you have a very wealthy family that's going to leave you money?
No.
I wish you had that. Does your wife have something like some great aunt popped into your life? Okay. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know I had this aunt. And she left you $1 million when she died. Then we're talking. Yeah. Can you get me one of those? Get me one of those. You're young. You're still young. 57 is young.
Can I just ask two questions?
Sure.
So question one was, you said use some of that cash at age 58, 59, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Why not at age 59 or 58 and a half? Why not use the rule of 55 versus some of that cash?
Well, if you're waiting till 59 and a half, then you can just use whatever money's in a retirement account. You don't have to use the rule of 55. Once you're 59 and a half, you can get to your money.
Correct.
That's not a problem.
Yep.
So the question was between now and then. But I don't the reason why I would not want to invoke rule of 55 is that I don't want to touch your Roth assets. That's not the key to me. I want to touch the traditional assets because that's where your RMD problem is compounding.
Yeah, gotcha. The other question I have, second question is, I don't really understand RMDs and what to expect, because it sounds like they're going to be, you said, potentially painful at age 75. What would I expect?
Okay, so, you're so lucky because I happen to have this very handy-dandy table right in front of me, okay? So let's say that at age 75, and let's say let's push the clock forward. You're 75 right now, okay? Your first year of a required minimum distribution is based on your life expectancy. So let's say by the time, let's round it up. You got $4 million, right? Your first required minimum distribution would be about just over 4% of the total account value, which would mean that on a $4 million bunch of money that hasn't been taxed yet, right? Traditional money, you would be forced by Uncle Sam to take $160,000 in withdrawals. So it's 4.07% of the account balance when you're age 75, and it starts going up from there. So that's why when we talk about this ticking tax bomb, it's the untaxed liability that is sitting in those deferred retirement accounts. If you've got a financial question, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. We are here trying to help you make less bad, maybe even some decent financial decisions, or maybe just have an array of choices that we can help go through with you. Every one of you has a different circumstance. That's why we really encourage you to get in touch with us if you've got a question. Just go to JillOnMoney.com. In the upper right-hand corner, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to come on the air live, check the box. That's all you need to do. Mark will do everything else. While you are on the website, you'll see that all of our content lives there. We've got a blog section. We've got videos. We've got resources. You can also sign up for our free weekly newsletter, and that comes out every Friday, which is such a great way to prepare for your weekend with us on this program. Now, for those of you who are on Substack, you can subscribe to us for free on Substack. That way you'll get the free weekly newsletter, and you'll also be able to get the blogs that I post on the website, but it just comes to your inbox. Sometimes it's an easier way to make sure you get all of our content. We push to you rather than you having to go onto the website and find it yourself. Okay, enough about us. Let's talk to Heidi from Wisconsin. Heidi, you've been on the air with us, so I'm so happy to have you back. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
What's going on?
So last time I called, I was going into grad school. I've finished grad school in my job longer. I had just started a job when I called you last time. So now I'm more settled. I paid off my student loans, and now
Congratulations. Hold on. Can we just take a breath? That's great. Congratulations that you paid off your loans. Incredible.
Yeah, thank you. It's pretty incredible, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, what else is going on?
So I have a 9-year-old, and I have some extra cash I'm working with. I have money in my savings account. I want to know if I should put that in brokerage. I'm a little worried about the stock market economy. Should I not be worried about that? And just kind of wanting to know where I should put my money going forward.
Okay, so let's go back in time for a second. Heidi, how old are you now?
40.
Okay, and how much are you earning?
$205,000.
That's great. For your job, do you have a retirement account available to you?
Yes.
What is the amount of money you're putting into the retirement account?
I'm currently putting in 7%, and then I get a 5% match.
Okay. How much money is in the plan right now?
$65,000. 35's in Roth, and then 30,000's in traditional, and that's all the match.
Okay, got it. So you're doing all Roth for your 7% contribution, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Any other investments in retirement assets right now?
Yeah, for my last employer, it was employee owned. So I have an ESOP that I can roll over into something. It's about $100,000. And then my previous 401k is $130,000. 100 of that's traditional and 30,000 of that's in Roth.
Okay. How do you feel about managing this money yourself? Are you feeling comfortable with it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, good. Okay. So that's the retirement assets. What other assets do you have where you've squirreled away lots of money because you're making this couple $100,000 a year, which is amazing?
Yeah, it's the HSA. I've always done HSA. So I have about a little over $50,000 in the HSA. And then I have an IRA, a traditional IRA that has about $75,000, and then a Roth IRA that has about $90,000.
Where are those held?
Vanguard.
Okay. So you're comfortable in the Vanguard environment, right?
I am, yes.
75 traditional, and you said 90 in the Roth, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. What else? What else we got?
For fun, I just put a little bit of Bitcoin in. I have $2,000. I don't touch that. I put $1,000 in a long time ago. So I don't plan on doing anything with that, just to try and have fun. And then in Vanguard, I also have a brokerage account with about $1,500. I do have employee stock, but it's not vested, and that's about $40,000.
Okay, but let's leave that off. Let's not even think about that.
Okay.
Do you own your own home?
Yes.
How much is the house worth?
The house is worth, it fluctuates, about $415,000.
Okay, and do you have a mortgage on it?
I do. I owe $255,000, and it's 3.75%.
Great. So we're not paying that down early.
No.
And you like the house? It's good for you? Like there's nothing you need to do with it?
I do need to put some work into the foundation and the roof, and that's going to be about $40,000. That's impeding doom in the next couple months.
Okay, $40,000 of work needed. Okay, now tell us about the savings account, like where you could do this work and where you can pull from.
Yeah, I do have cash I could pay. I have about $130,000 in a high yield savings account, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with that money. I do like to be more conservative with my savings, just in case I, don't have a job. Who knows what's coming up? I'm confident in my abilities to get another job and all of that, but I just want to have some safety net involved.
Yeah, of course. I love that about you. I love you and your wimpiness. You're right up my alley.
Right.
So let me ask you a question, though. What do you think your monthly expenses are? I just want to see how much we need to really keep in that high yield savings.
I would say they're probably between $8,000 and $9,000 a month, and that includes my mortgage and childcare and some fund money.
Okay. I like fund money. I'm going to say 9. So, of the 130, let me ask you something. Let's say that we said, just tap that high yield savings account, use the 40 for the work needed. Okay. Just use it. Don't think twice about it. In fact, it's going to end up being 50 because whatever the 40 is, it'll turn into 50, right?
Oh, yeah.
Won't it? Okay. So now if you had $80,000 in your high yield savings account, right? And that was, you're in that 6 to 9 months of living expenses. Would that be okay for you? Or does that feel scary?
I think that's okay. That's where the minimum I'd want to be is.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So let's presume that's exactly what you have done, that you're going to spend your 50, you're going to keep your $80,000 that's left over. Okay.
Okay.
And then you're still paying your expenses, but you did build up this high yield savings account, which means to me that you have cash flow that can do other things. What do you think your cash flow looks like at the end of every month? What do you think you have left over?
Probably $1,000 left over every month.
Okay. And your 529 plan for the 9-year-old, how much money is in there?
About $25,000.
Okay. And when you look ahead and you say, okay, I've got $25,000 in there, I've got 8 or 9 years to go. Do you think you want to be able to pay for private or public school for your kid?
Ooh, I think public.
Public. Okay. We'll get back to Heidi in just a minute. You are listening to the Jill on Money Show.
If you've missed any part of the show or want to check out a past show, go to JillOnMoney.com for more great personal finance content.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. This is the program that's trying to help mentor or coach you through your financial life decisions. If something's going on for you, maybe you want to buy a house, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you're at the end of your career, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. Right now, let's get back to Heidi from Wisconsin. So, in your mind, you're putting in extra money in your retirement accounts. I'm wondering whether we should, of your $1,000 a month, right? Mm-hmm. You do your 7% into your retirement account, right? And then you're also putting money into your Roth, I presume, or are you making, when you say you're putting money into retirement, are you doing it in, you can't be doing it backdoor. So how are you doing that?
Well, tell me if I'm doing it wrong. I put into traditional, and I have a conduit IRA, and then I transfer it to Roth. Can I do that?
Mark, I think she's doing a backdoor Roth, but isn't the fact that there is an actual $75,000 IRA put her in the pro rata rule?
Yeah. If you
theoretically.
You get technical, yes, that's true.
It's a little technical here, but I think that for now, just don't do that anymore, okay? And don't freak out about it, but ideally, what happens is when you want to do that kind of backdoor Roth, you need to not have any actual traditional IRA that's outstanding. So if I were going to do that going forward, we would need you to roll your Vanguard IRA into your current plan, into your pre-tax current plan, because we'd have to kind of make it go away for purposes of making sure it's legit and not being subject to the pro rata rule, which kind of screws it up. And give me your or, Mark.
Or if you just want to avoid that mess altogether, just increase your workplace Roth contributions.
That's what I'm thinking. In fact, forget about putting the extra money into your Vanguard accounts right now. I would bump up my retirement contribution to, say, 10% right now. And the rest of the money I would use to fund the 529 and maybe put some extra money into a brokerage account. But I think the 529 seems like it should be a priority right now. Because if you want to fund a public education, the kid's 9, we got to get some money going, right? You paid off all your debt. You're a very good saver. Let's get that going. The only change that we're suggesting is instead of putting money into retirement accounts at Vanguard, that you up your contribution into your plan through work and then put a little bit more money into the 529. Use the money that's in cash to do the work on the house. When that work is done, you'll see where you stand. You can come back on the air with us. I love talking to you every couple of years. It's fabulous for us. And then you're doing a great job, and you will be able to, maybe at that point, we'll have a little bit more clarity on, well, is this stock in the money? Can we use that? Could you, because one of the things that you could do also is that if you have this employee stock that becomes vested, you could start selling that over time and use that to fund the 529 plan. And that seems to me a very, very good way to kind of supercharge your plan of putting money away for college. So does that seem reasonable to you, Heidi?
Yeah, I think so. Should I put a lump sum of money into the 529 to get it started? Or should
I don't want to get you crazy because you're going to want to do work on the house, right? Yeah. So if you wanted to do a lump sum, let's say you said you really get this work done. Like if you got everybody and you're like, Jill, no, it's not 50, it's 40. I would then take 10 grand and pop it in the 529.
Okay.
That I would do. And then, of course, tell me a little bit about your, you have life insurance? Do you have your estate planning done? Is everything good there?
Oh, yeah.
All right, good.
Would you move the old 401k, Jill, and just consolidate with the traditional IRA?
Maybe. You could basically roll the ESOP and the old 401k into your traditional IRA at Vanguard. you could easily do that.
And then from that point going on, it's either you're either putting money into your current workplace plan to the point where you're maxing it out. And if you get to that point, then any extra money is going into a brokerage account.
The brokerage and 529.
And 529.
Both. Exactly. I think that's a good game plan.
So no
Heidi?
more traditional IRAs?
No
Say
more
that again?
traditional.
No.
There's no reason for any traditional money.
No. You got a lot of traditional money, right?
Yeah.
230. You got $300,000. You know, there's 330 already. You're young, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're very young, and you know you got great income. You got the house with a good mortgage rate, and so I think you're in very good shape to continue this process. So I think this is all smart. And we can consolidate a little bit. You can use some index funds inside of your Vanguard accounts and call it a day and keep it nice and simple. But you're on track. You're in really good shape. You really are. You've done a great job all by yourself. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else on our end? What do you want to know?
What is the max I should think about with the 529 since I don't know what my 9-year-old will want to do?
I mean, a genius, right? Mark, how much money should we try to get in there?
What's going in right now every month?
I think it'll go up to maybe 1,000 every month.
1,000 a month? I don't think you need to go beyond that.
Yeah, I don't think you'd do more than that. And especially if you're going to start to dump some extra money in.
I always think the general rule of thumb should be, if you can get $10,000 a year into a 529 plan, that's a very good number.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Got a financial question? Just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that tries to take the mystery out of your financial life. Before we finish the show, I want to get to an email from Valerie. This is an important email. She writes, I'm 35 years old and I am diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Poor Valerie, I feel so bad. This has prevented me from working any job, and specifically, I cannot work in the career that I worked so hard to train for, that is being a doctor. Now I find myself with several collection agencies contacting me frequently over my student loans and credit cards. Is there a way I should deal with my situation, or should I just keep ignoring it? No, you should not ignore it. What you probably need to do is contact a bankruptcy attorney and start talking through that process. As a reminder for everyone listening, voluntary bankruptcy is a legal process. It's established under federal law, and the whole point of bankruptcy is to help people get a fresh start by eliminating those legal obligations to pay most types of debt, usually consumer and business debts. And Valerie's situation really represents why most people get into trouble. The most common reasons that Americans file for bankruptcy include medical debt, job loss, and divorce. People are not usually spending on cars and fancy things and then go into bankruptcy. Personal bankruptcy may not erase the debt of your student loan, but this is a legal process and you need a lawyer who is trained in this area. And of course, a bankruptcy can stay on your credit report for up to 10 years and will likely impair your ability to obtain credit in the future. Valerie, I hope that helps. This is a terrible situation. Get back in touch with us if we need to talk to you about anything else, okay? Well, that's it. That's the program. We thank you so much for listening every single week and also today. If you're trying to tackle any issue in your life, big or small, please get in touch with us. Don't carry this burden on your own. We can help you out. Just go to the website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us on the program, just check the box. Mark will do everything else. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer, and he's the king of all things web. We ask that you do something nice for someone else today. Please try to lift someone up. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.